First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakal Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers and the hopeful elect who are out there pushing this truth and listening and doing. All right. And in this lesson, I want to go into basically checking yourself. This is more so for the men of Israel, but really women as well. Basically, checking your faith and where it's at, given the times that we're in and the times that we're headed to, right? Because right now, if you are looking around um, in so-called society, everyone's got like this real chill spirit right now because they've been deceived by this new president, you know, by these COVID vaccines that are coming out, and they think that, and with this new year, they really do think that this is, that there's an actual change, right? Or that good things are coming, or things are turning, you know, are, you know, uh, turning for the better, changing for the better, right? And that's simply not true, you know. Esau Edom, so-called white man, right? All he does is work with illusions and deception and manipulation, but he's always continuing to strive towards his goal, right? Or continue to work on his agenda, right? So I want to point that out first, before I get to the real point of this lesson, is that ain't shit okay, all right? And it's just like this last week, I use where I work as a temperature, as a thermometer, right? As a gauge to check the temperature of society, you know, because we deal with a large portion of society at work, and, of all demographics, you know, and of all socioeconomic classes, right? Rich, poor, whatever you name it, right? You get to interact with all of them. So right now, the common theme seems to be laid back, relaxed. That sense of fear and panic and anxiety, you know, before January, has seemed to calm down. You know, like I said,
This has
people
issued its first ever.
people are out here playing themselves, thinking that shit has really changed for the better. You know, and well, I just want to go through these current events real quick to show you that, if anything, obviously and clearly, shit's just getting worse. And something that's not really in the, being touched on through mainstream media, that's really really being amped up, is World War III. And here, just within the last, I would say, few days to a week or so, you know, the relationships between China and America and Russia and America have gotten more tense, you know, because you have this new clown in office. Uh, you know, uh, you would assume that foreign relations would get so-called better, because that's the kind of image that this new president put out, Biden, right? That he's, you know, everybody's buddy, and he's gonna, basically bring back, peace between America and its foreign trading partners. Unlike Trump, where he was hostile with, you know, his adversaries that he had to make treaties with, and trade deals. Okay, and that's simply not the case. All right. So I'm going to start with this piece from RT News, right? And this one's concerning Babylon's homeland, right? This one came out January 29th, all right? And anytime you have a nation, right, especially a Western civilization, right, that fears its own collapse, or it fears, right, invasion, or it fears it engaging in a war that it won't win or can't win or might not win, right? The first thing they do is they make sure they clamp down on their own citizens, right? Because when you have an environment that this volatile, when your economy is this tattered and beaten, when your relationships with your enemies are at an all-time high, just tense, hot, you have a lot of what they call civil dissidents and civil disobedience. A lot of what you see in this whole last year, right? Rioting, protesting, right? Uh, you have a bunch of clashes between all these different ideologies, right? Whether it's because of people's political views or because of institutionalized racism, you have all these clashes within your society, right? Within Babylon, you have all these Babylonians going at each other, right? And when a nation is prepared, uh, preparing to go to war, it's got to fix shit in house first in order to successfully, or at least try to, handle this war abroad. So this piece right here on RT News is called "The Enemy Within," and it's going to touch base with something that America, you know, recently did.
Has issued its first ever national terrorism bulletin on domestic extremists, calling them a threat to the government.
Information suggests that some ideologically motivated violent extremists with objections to the exercise of governmental authority and the presidential transition, as well as other perceived grievances fueled by false narratives, could continue to mobilize to incite or commit violence.
The document doesn't mention any specific anti-government plot, but claims radicals may be emboldened by this month's Capitol riots to attack government facilities and officials. Julio Rivera, editorial.
Okay, so a couple things with that. Now you see how this Capitol, the seizure on the Capitol, on the U.S. Capitol, or the Capitol riot, as they're calling it, you see how that could have been just completely staged, right? By Esau himself, by the so-called white man, by these political parties. They could have staged that whole thing on their own just to pass new legislation, or put out this memo, you know? And how vague was that memo? And the guy said it just then. He said, now, it doesn't point out any specific group. Of course not, because they want the freedom to call anyone, everyone and anyone, a domestic extremist. It could come down even to your like peon Christian that don't know shit. They could be called a domestic extremist for their views, right? For their extremist views, right? Because they do as well also point out prophecy in the scriptures, prophecy that's, you know, being, being revealed here in these end days, you know. And of course, they're using these right wing extremists as a catalyst, right, to do this, right? And I'm sure they're ready to rock and roll with the Patriot Act, right? And any new legislation that they're going to pass in order to control things here within the borders of Babylon, right? And they're doing this because they want to get a grip on you knuckleheads here because of what's going on really on the outside of Babylon. You have America's top tier enemies, Iran, China, and Russia, right? Basically ready to roll. They're ready to roll on the United States. And whereas you can think of what you want about Donald Trump, but he, in one way or another, you know, uh, he was a nationalist, right? He was a damn supremacist. So like, you know, he, it was, at the end of the day, it's all just smoke and mirrors and an act. But he portrayed himself as this gung ho Edomite who's ready to rock and roll with whoever wants to smoke, right? Whereas Biden, he's perceived as this like weak, old, senile, babbling fool, right? So all these enemy nations see this new president, right, as a sign, furthering America's weakness, right? Like it hasn't been weakened enough this whole last year with everything that's gone on, but now you have this weak ass president coming in, so even another sign of weakness. And when you have enemy nations that have been waiting decades and even hundreds of years to strike Babylon, this is another motivator, right? This is another sign of weakness and a sign to strike, right? You know, here's a couple of headlines between the, uh, touching base with the relationship between U.S. and Iran. All right, and the big deal here is, right, and it's always been like this. Uh, the U.S. wants Iran to toe the line on this nuclear deal, and it ain't no nuclear deal, right? They act like it's a mutual agreement that both parties are going to come to, and that's not even the fucking case. It's America calling the shots and basically telling Iran to toe the line like a good little bitch, or they're going to have to, they're going to have a show of force, or do something, right? It usually starts with economic terrorism, right? If they can't directly affect their economy, then they will indirectly, through other nations, affect the economy of Iran to where it's disruptive, right? And if that doesn't work, then they go hot and they engage in a war. And sometimes this is done through what's called proxy wars, and it's done through different factions, right? So the U.S. can appear to have their hands clean. So like uh, in right in Iraq, right, the United States was using certain insurgents, right, to act as the enemy, so they could, you know, so they could further their agenda within Iraq. And then they've always done this. They've always done this. They will train and supply arms to uh, a radical force, right, or a guerrilla force, and make it seem as though they're the ones waging the war with the nation, right? Uh, you know, in order for Babylon to pursue their agenda within that nation, right? And these are called proxy wars, right? So if they don't do that, then they go engage in just straight up war. And right here it says, okay, Biden's picking his envoy, all the people that are going to be involved in this Iran nuclear deal. But as we scroll down, we see, you know, picking a fight with U.S. over Iran deal. The Iran Defense Force chief battles even Accord's critics, right? All right, and it says basically the same old shit, different day. That's what Iran is saying. Even though you have a new president, you're still coming in with the same shit that Trump came in with, the same shit that Obama came with, and the same shit that Bush came with, right? Basically, Iran toed a line. You can't have nukes. You can't have nukes. We can. All right. And Iran, since day one, hasn't had it, bro. And look at this shit right here. 2 days ago, U.S. bombers fly through Persian Gulf to keep Iran in check. You see that? They're just straight flexing, bro. So there ain't no deal here. There ain't no treaty, right? There is no pursuance of peace, right? It's basically the U.S. trying to put their boot on Iran's neck, and Iran, of course, not gonna have it, right? So what does the U.S. do? And that's the devil for your ass, right? That's being hypocritical, right? In today's terms, and that's ironic that they're gonna put U.S. bombers, right? They're gonna send U.S. bombers to fly through over the Persian Gulf to keep Iran in check from what? Making bombs? Nigga, what? What the fuck? We need you to strike a deal with us, and you're gonna deal. Why? Because we can't have you making bombs because y'all are a radical Islamic state. Okay, cool. What if we don't? Man, we're gonna fly bombs over you. What the fuck? Man, the devil, man. The white man's the fucking devil in this fucking bitch, bro. That is the dumbest fucking shit anyways, bro. God damn, you have to laugh from going fucking crazy, bro, because that makes no sense. But I mean, it's the fucking devil, U.S. tries to seize oil shipment. It says it's from Iran. The grimy shit. 3 days ago, grimy shit. This is grimy, bro. And these are all acts of war, bro. So if Iran really U.S. is flexing right now. Iran being patient as fuck, Iran is Persia, they're not stupid when it comes to war, they've engaged in the biggest wars the world has ever known, so U.S. is flexing right now. Iran's being patient, not doing anything, but these are all acts of war, bro. Straight flexing, man. Look at this shit. 23 hours ago. All right, this is not even a day ago, right? As the U.S. prepares to talk with Iran, Israel, right, head of the snake, prepares a military option. Israel is signaling its readiness to attack Iran in the hopes of securing a tougher and more comprehensive U.S. brokered deal. That's wild, man, And Iran has already vowed to wipe the state of Israel and these fake ass Jews off the face of the earth, man. That's some of the motivating. This is a motivating factor behind them, enriching uranium and making nuclear weapons, bro, because they understand well that Israel and America, right, along with the rest of the beast, right, has this entire world, cloaked in darkness, right? They're destroyers of worlds. They propagate lies. They push for self-destruction as well as the destruction of the environment, right? And you have lands like Iran, and other smaller, what people would call third world countries, who realize this shit, who realize this bullshit. Okay, there you are though. These are all acts of war right here, right? And that's between U.S. and Iran. Now this right here is between U.S. and China. Okay, well, let's read a little bit here. It says, this is the 26th of January. Averting a Cold War with China takes on greater urgency. The United States and China must be encouraged to find common interests, which won't happen. Slowing climate change and preventing future pandemics rather than reasons for aggression. Nah, there's only reasons for fucking aggression. How the fuck did these goddamn Edomites get this land, right? How did they take over the Americas? With fucking aggression, right? How they become the number one economic superpower on the planet Earth? Through aggression, right? Slave trade, slavery, 400 years of it, right? All right, conquest, captivity, okay, oppression. They got it through aggression, right? And then now, because they're not numero uno, now all of a sudden it's time to be, oh man, we got to find a way to get along. Oh, do we now? Now we got to find a way to get along. Okay. Instead of finding reasons for aggression, nah, man, what goes around comes around, bitch. All right. And here you go. All right. Just as the foreign policy, right, has not changed from administration to administration. It doesn't matter who's president, because it's never fucking mattered who's president. There's always an agenda to be pushed forward. All right. There is no change in the treatment of the relationship between China and the US. Okay? And it says it right here. Okay? President Biden's top cabinet appointees have almost uniformly proclaimed their opposition to the policies of the Trump administration and have pledged to steer the nation on a new course, whether it be on health, economy, climate, or issues of race and racism. In one area, however, senior Biden officials have not only praised Trump's endeavors, but promised to carry them further, mobilizing the nation for a new Cold War, this time with China. So if you thought Trump was hostile towards China, right, and engaging in a trade war with them, Biden's going to take it even further, bro. You know? And this is what the brothers and the elders and apostles of Great Millstone have been saying. Biden's going to be worse than Trump. And this, and then his, what we just read about his approach towards the Iran nuclear deal, right, is proof of that. He's being more aggressive, bro. He's taking it further, right, than what Trump and his predecessors did. Always pushing forward the agenda, man. Doesn't matter who's president. All right, and I want to get to this one. Here we go. All right. Check this shit out, bro. All right. This is why you motherfuckers out there who use the term black, right? You're lost in the fucking sauce, man. It doesn't matter. Or African American, you're lost in the fucking sauce, man. Right? Because they use your ignorance against you. All right? Because all you're seeing is color, because you're carnal and you're in the flesh and all you see is color, right? You Jakes, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out there, you're deceived by the moves that these people make, right? So Esau Edom, right, the so-called white man, he puts Obama in the office, the so-called man of color, and then y'all are deceived for 8 years, right? Thinking that brown people got somewhere. False. Okay? Now, Biden's pick to lead the Department of Defense, retired General Lloyd Austin, and I'm sure you have already seen this guy, first African American to be appointed Secretary of Defense, received overwhelming praise from Democrats in Congress for his pledge to combat racism in the military ranks. He got little reaction to what he claimed was his number one priority: to better equip U.S. forces to engage in a future war with China. Point blank, period. All right? So the incoming Secretary of Defense, though he's a Jake, he's all about Edom's agenda, bro. Right? Though he's a Jake, it doesn't matter, man. He's about this white man's agenda, right? And what's priority number one as incoming Secretary of Defense? Better equip U.S. forces to engage in a future war with China. And he would know, bro. He would know what's up. He would know what's on its way, So you got Iran over here on one front, and you got China on another, which is the priority of the Secretary of Defense right now. All right. So shit ain't chill, bro. Right. So going back to how I started the video, or what I was talking about, is people are in cruise control right now. I see it. I've seen it heavy this whole last week. People are in cruise control. People got it in fucking neutral. People are chilling. We got a new president. The vaccine's out. Woo, 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 want. Biden is fucking signing all these goddamn executive orders left and motherfucking right. You know, things are, things are looking up. Nah, bro. No. Things are heating up. You motherfuckers just ain't paying attention, man. You know? And you know, since you people ain't ready, you're willing to latch on to so-called positivity, right? Because you fear, right? And you fear, you know, the things that can happen to you in this world more than you fear Yahweh, right? The Most High Power. All right, which is going to be to your detriment, man. That's your mistake, okay? Because you're not, and that's where I'm going with this in this lesson. You know, is you got to get rid of all that. You got to get rid of all your ties that you have. Anything you're attached to in this world, and you got to get cold, man. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right. Right now, people are saying that shit. All right. Vaccines, Biden, executive orders, this, that, the fucking third. Another stimulus check is fucking coming. Y'all people are retarded, man. Meanwhile, what? The war drums are beating, man. All right. China, Iran, and Russia are looking to eat your fucking lunch, man. All right. Ezekiel 5:12. A third part of thee shall die with the pestilence, and with the famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee. Bro, disease, man, and starvation. And a third part shall fall by the sword around about thee. War, civil war, gang warfare, right? Invading one another for food and water, neighbor against neighbor with firearms, bro. And I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after him. Even the hopeful elect, even the 1/3 of Israel is going to go through Jacob's trouble. Even the 144,000 men, the elect men, the future kings and priests of Israel, even they are going to go through Jacob's trouble. No one's safe. This is it. It said a third, and a third. That's 3/3. That's everybody, bro. Now, of course, the hopeful elect hope to be delivered at the end of all this, right? But you're still going to get some, man. And a lot will be martyrs, right? Some will be martyrs, okay? Ezekiel 7:15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within, and that is in the field he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. It's a bunch of terrible shit coming, man. And you see this everywhere, man. With the riots all over the world, the protests all over the world, fucking little, hints of race wars all over the fucking world, right? Real wars, international wars, trade wars, cold wars, everywhere, man. Food shortages, food insecurities, unemployment, right? Disease, this fake ass COVID. The Most High is going to come with this pestilence, and you're going to know the difference between a fucking synthetic COVID, right? Man-made Esau. America made this shit. Quit playing, all right? You're going to know the difference between some fake ass fucking disease and the real shit, because the Most High is going to bring the real shit, and then you motherfuckers going to know the difference. Quit playing fucking games, man, because the bodies are going to be along the streets, bro. Like they were during real pestilences, during real plagues, bro. Motherfuckers be dying overnight. You gotta pull the body out so the rest of the fucking family don't get infected. And you gotta burn that motherfucker, right? Throw it into the street, wrap it up, get somebody to come by, scoop it up, right? Not this fucking Disney fucking bullshit they're trying to pass on CNN as a plague, bro. Get real, bro. 1 Peter 1 and 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua is the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, in the ancient Hebrew, okay? The son of the most high power Yahweh. 1 Peter 1 and 13, wherefore gird up thy loins of what? Your mind, which is your heart, be sober, and hope to the end, to the very end, bro. You're supposed to be hoping for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, and this is the actual point of the lesson. All right, I had to set the tone with all the other stuff, right? With the current events, right? Is how ready? Where is your faith at, man? And are you checking it, right, on a daily basis? All right, where is your faith at? Where is your spirit at? Like, are you ready to see all this shit go? Or are you attached, right? The scriptures talk about, your family is whoever's doing the will of the Heavenly Father. Are you still attached to your worldly family? Those heathens that don't care about the scriptures? Are you still attached to them? Dude, they don't care, man. You being attached to them, right, is a detriment to you, right? Are you ready to see them go? And that shit shouldn't affect you at all, right? You need to be in the spirit, right? To where you'll see your so-called blood relatives perish, and it shouldn't affect you because you should understand that they were never doing the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Nor did they care to, or they even care to hear it, right? You might have tried telling them once or a few times or several times, and they never wanted to hear it, bro. They could care less, all right? But are you still attached to them? The scriptures say that, if anyone loved the world or anything that is in the world, the love of the Father is not in them. That includes people, man. All right? Are you still attached to people who aren't doing the will of the Heavenly Father? You need to let them go, right? Because you're going to take the fucking mark of the beast for their ass, bro. That's what's going to happen if you're still fucking attached to those heathens, dude. All right? So where's your faith at? Is your faith at that level? Is your spirit at that level? Right? Are you still attached to this place? Are you still attached to money or a career or your financial goals? Right? What are you going to work on more this following week? Right? Getting your spirit, preparing your spirit for losing all your money, bro. Because once that microchip comes out, they're going to take your money and you ain't going to have shit unless you take that microchip. All right? So if you about your money now and you really feel a type of way about that shit, you're going to feel a type of way about it when it's gone. And then you're going to want it bad enough to where you're going to take a fucking chip for that shit. Do you still give a shit? Now, we need money. We're going to continue to use money and work and get money to move along, right, on earth until that microchip comes out. But is that take priority over you building your spirit up to where you're ready not to have it. And when you don't have money, you also don't have food, man, because that shit goes hand in hand. All right. You still attached to food, fast food 3 times a fucking day, carry out 3 times a day, dine-ins 3 times a day, a 12-pack every night, no moderation or no, no fasting whatsoever, no denying yourself of this and that and the third. Are you still attached to that shit? Women, you still attached to them, bro? You know how many women you're gonna see get fucked up out here, and you still want to be attached to them, right? When they've done nothing for you or the truth, they don't even care about the truth. Yet you still find yourself serving women. And I understand Jake's wrapped up out here, man. And you can be legally obligated to do something for a damn female, and the court can appoint you to do something for a damn female, bro. But outside of that, are you still fucking simping for bitches out here, man? Guess what's gonna happen, man? When you weak as fuck, hungry as hell, no money, and you still simping for a bitch trying to take care of her when she ain't shit, you gonna take the chip, man. To take care of that that no good for nothing, piece of stank ass, bro. Breast stink. Bitch sweating pork. Right? Fuck, man. Where's your spirit at? Where's your faith at? Is your faith at that level, man? All right? And you know what? I'm going to take it further. All right? Are you cold enough to take your enemy beating the fuck out of you, torturing you, threatening you with death, taking your woman, taking your fucking children, taking your food, starving you out, taking your home, putting you in prison, putting you in a camp? Are you cold enough to take that shit? Because we're ordered to be patient, we're ordered to be meek, and we're ordered not to, basically take that L until Yahweh Shai shows up. You know what I'm saying? This is Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. Let's see. Yeah. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So that's what's coming, man. All these trials and tribulations, all that shit I just got done saying, that's a furnace, bro. Furnace, right? Fire. You're consumed in fire. Flames, bro. Your flesh burning off your body, right? Is what it's being compared to. All the fucking bullshit we're about to go through, right? Are you cold enough to take that and not have a reaction? Right? Is your spirit, is your faith build up to that point to where you're just going to believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and that he got you, and you're going to hold your own, bro, against all that, right? And you ain't going to get in your feelings over food, shelter, money, women, your family, with your fake ass family that don't care about the Most High at all, or Yahweh Shai? Really? All right, we'll see. Okay, now this is cold right here. This is cold, bro. The scriptures say that no man before or after Yahweh Shai, right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, has ever been more beaten, bro, right? Ever, before or after. So the man that took the greatest beating ever known on planet Earth was who the world calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, right? Now, when he was taking that beating, you know they were talking shit to him, and you know they were talking shit to him, and you know that they were humiliating him, man. They put a crown of thorns, bro, on his head, right? Mocking him, right? Because he was the Messiah, he was the King of the Jews, and he was the King of Kings. And do you think it stopped there? No, it didn't stop there, man. You know how these fucking Edomites are? Just think about all the shit that they did to Jake when we were in captivity, man. When the Southern Kingdom was in captivity, all the shit that they would do, bro, to the males, to the bucks, to us. They get the biggest dude out the tribe, bro. They get the biggest dude out the tribe, bro. And not just beat the fuck out of him, but humiliate him as well, bro. All right? And you Jakes can't take shit, bro. You know? Because I'm around y'all. Right? You motherfuckers, y'all sit here and go back and forth with this shit y'all call roasting. Right? Y'all can't hold y'all's fucking tongue for shit. Right? So imagine when your enemy comes at you and is beating the shit out of you and humiliating you and talking shit to you, bro. You're not going to be able to keep your mouth shut. All right? Because in that situation, there ain't shit to be said. All right? May the Lord's will be done, and they're going to do whatever the fuck it is they're going to be, what they're going to do to you, bro. And you're supposed to what? You're supposed to gird up thy loins and take that shit like a man, right? And that includes not saying shit and not reacting. All right? Believe it or not. Okay? This is Isaiah 53:7, right? And if you say otherwise, bro, are you better than Yahweh Shai, man? Are you tougher than Yahweh Shai? Are you harder than Yahweh Shai? Because you're going to fight back? Because you're going to talk shit back? Right? Isaiah 53:7. He was oppressed, talking about Yahweh Shai. And he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth, man. Are you that cold? He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth, man. From the point that Pilates gave him up to Israel to be crucified, all the way to his crucifixion, all the way to getting nailed to the cross, that whole time, man, he didn't say nothing. Because everything that was supposed to be said was already said before that point. And through that beating, through the worst beating that anybody has ever taken, through that humiliation and all that fucking shit talking, bro, he didn't say a word, bro. Are you that cold? That's cold, dude. That is cold, bro. Not reacting to that, bro. You have self-control. You have discipline, bro. You're in a perfect state, man. All right? You have complete control over your spirit, right? And your mind, your heart. To just take that, bro, because you know that it's the will of the Heavenly Father, man. That's cold. Are you there yet? That's something to think about, man, you know? And I got this, the idea for this lesson throughout the last few weeks, listening to different brothers' lessons, and like there's a common theme, you know? The Most High will put the Spirit on the brethren and the elders and apostles, right, of Great Millstone, to have a common theme throughout videos, you know? And it's not like the brothers, you know, the hopeful elect get together and they're like, hey, you know, this week let's all talk about this. Nah, man, it's the Spirit, right? It's like the theme, the ongoing theme of that day or that week, you know. And the last few weeks, it was basically, you know, gird up thy loins, man. Put that armor on because shit's about to get real. You know, it's the calm before the storm. And when that storm comes, you want no attachments to this place whatsoever, man. Use a car, don't have an attachment to the car. Use money, have no attachment to the money, to where from one day to the next, your bank account can go from fat to nothing and you wouldn't give a shit. It wouldn't phase you, bro. You would lose no sleep over it. All right? Your family, bro. Oh, well. All right? When's the last time they sat down, broke bread with you, and wanted to talk about Yahweh Shai, man? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. When's the last time they wanted to talk about the scriptures, bro? Fuck them. Your woman, your girl, your wife, whatever you want to call her, man. What's she done for you lately, man? Other than give you pure hell. You gotta be ready to see them go, bro. All right? Because if you have an attachment, like the scriptures say, if you love this world or anything that's in this world, the love of the Father is not in you, man, because you're going to fold to that shit. All right? Now, say you have no attachment to anything in this world. All right, cool, bet. All right? You're in the right spirit. Okay? Now, how much self-control and how much discipline do you have to not give in to the flesh if it comes down to you being beaten, tortured, starved out? All right? You're able to cut all attachments to the world, but what about your flesh? What about your spirit? Have you gotten that cold yet? You got to get cold, man. You know? You got to meditate on these things, man. All right? Because Satan, through this so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the biblical Edomites, right, is going to come with that hour of temptation, and that includes a lot of different things, man. And you're going to be attacked spiritually and physically, bro. Right? And with that, I hope that this video was edifying, man. You know? Because, you know, I know Jake got a short attention span, and also Jake, you know, thinks that if he hears something once, that's it. He just needs to hear it once and that's it. Nah, man. The Bible, the scriptures repeat themselves, and these videos are repetitive. So hopefully the reason why they're repetitive and why brothers go into the same topics over and over and over is so maybe hopefully it'll get through that thick ass skull that Jake got, right? And that they'll remember it in a time of need, right? Okay? But I like bringing out, you know, other things, you know, other things to meditate on, you know. And this is one thing you definitely, you know, especially as a man of Israel, women too, but as a man, this is definitely something you need to think about. How attached are you to this world? And how cold are you? Are you cold yet, bro? You got to be ice cold, man. Ice cold. Yahweh Shai getting beat, bro, and humiliated and talked shit to, and he didn't say anything back, bro, because he knew that he was gonna come back, and chop heads off, and set this place on fire, right? And you should have the same faith and the same hope, because you know that's what's gonna happen. So there's nothing to be said, man. You know. Yahweh Shai is the name of who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, the Most High Power, right? You blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. You make up the 12 tribes of Israel, right? You're the biblical Israelites, right? Now, color, this is not a color thing. This is not a skin color thing, right? This is a heritage thing, right? So even though you may not appear as a black, Hispanic, or Native American, if this word resonates with you, as the word being the Holy Scriptures, resonates with your spirit, all of it, right? None of this picking and choosing shit that you piece of shit Christians do, all right? All of it, right? Chances are you're an Israelite, right? You're an Israelite foreigner because Israel was scattered throughout all four corners of the world and reside in all the nations in the world and can look like any nation, all right? I hope this video was edifying, and I want to say shalom. Death to America.